Hi, my name is Stephanie Anderson, and I am a foodie for Jesus. I'm coming to you here live from my ditch, my own personal ditch related to food, my relationship to food, body image, all of that good stuff that I have talked about in the past from a different perspective. My perspective in the past was always from the other side, from the I've been transformed, I've been redeemed, my relationship with food is healthy. I'm on the right track. I have slipped off that track. I have slipped off that road down the ditch where I have been stuck for a couple of months. So I am on this mission right now to spend the next 40 days lined up with Lent. So today is Valentine's Day, also happens to be Ash Wednesday. And I'm committing to really just fully leaning into the Lord, depending on His strength, not mine, because mine doesn't work. It hasn't worked. I've tried to fool myself into thinking that it would work, but it doesn't. So let me share a little bit with you about my ditch situation and what it's been like in this ditch. So I was on a really good path a few months ago with having healthy boundaries around food. I was just, it felt comfortable. It felt good. I had structure, but it felt like through the structure I had, the same way that we would have rules or boundaries or principles in other areas of our lives, or we may have them for our kids to keep them safe. I had some in place with my food and it felt good. Well, I reached a point conveniently right before Christmas where I thought, hey, you know what? This is fine. I don't have any issues with food. I can just eat what I want to. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to allow myself for the week or two around the holidays, I'm just gonna allow myself to just eat what I want to. But it'll be fine, it'll be fine. And it was for a little while. Like I would have a little bit here and there and it was fine. But that slope was a slippery one and I slid down it. And I was actually in denial for a little while that I was in the ditch because I'm not there that long. I can just, let me just enjoy another day of indulging in whatever food I want, whatever quantities I want and getting those dopamine hits, which early on you don't need as much, right? So it was just like a little bit of the sugar and I'm getting, but it still felt fine. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just say, January 1st, that will be a great day just to start getting back on track. And so I had all my plans, I had all of my, everything, figured out that I was going to do, basically to get back on track, to get back into like having those boundaries. But what I hadn't done was really prayed about it or spent any time with the Lord in it. I was just like, oh, this is what worked before for Stephanie. So Stephanie's just going to go and do this again. And I probably had a few days that were good. And then I just kept giving myself opportunities to just be free, to just eat what I wanted to, and just still in that denial of, hey, I've got this, but I didn't. It was this false sense of security, this false sense of self sufficiency that comes from self righteousness, right? So, not a good spot. And I will say, I've been walking with the Lord and my belief is still like nothing has changed in terms of my belief in Christ. It's been my resistance to turning over this idol that I've had in my life, on and off in my life, more so on than not, if I were to reflect back on my adult life. But I've absolutely had seasons of freedom. But that's been when the Lord has been at the center. And I've recognized that I've needed Him. But I put myself at the center of it. I put my knowledge, my understanding, my experience. Oh, it worked well before. Now I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to copy and paste the same thing I did before, but not factor in the faith part of it and my need to rely on the Lord. So that's what I'm here to do right now is I am committing to spending the next 40 days. I've decided this is my form of worship, my form of also giving something up over Lent. Now, I'm keeping it in this 40-day Lent to time box it. We'll see where the Lord leads it. We'll see. Maybe it'll be 40 days and done. I I am going to as much as I can record on a daily basis. There may be some days I can't. There may be some days, who knows? I might be doing more than one. We'll see. But just to share this journey, share where I mess up, where things go well, my walk on with the Lord, passages that I am leaning into. Um, Again, I have daily time with the Lord in my day. I like to listen to podcasts, listen to scriptures. I'm reading through the Bible in the year. My husband and I do devotion. Like, we have a lot, but there's been this grip that I've had on food, and it has had a grip on me back. And it has been that thing in front of my face that's blocking me from seeing other things clearly as well. So the time is coming for this to, I'm getting out of the ditch by the grace of God. And I know that when I lean on him, that will happen. So that's why I'm going on this 40-day journey, willing to share it because I want it to be of service to somebody else. I want to be able to help someone else, point them to the Lord. I want this to be glorifying to the Lord. I want this to be encouraging to people. This is not about shame or guilt. This is not about a number on a scale. And I'm sure I'll be getting into that in some other videos as well. But this is really about having that right relationship and mindset with food through the right relationship with the Lord. And for me, those two have gone, it's only been when I've relied on the Lord. So, because in this ditch that I'm in, where I've kind of gotten comfortable for a couple months, it's that false sense of, oh, I'll just have a little bit and then end up polishing everything off. Also these foods that I'm eating, they're not designed to satisfy me, and they won't. They're food. The satisfaction I need comes from the Lord. But these foods that I'm drawn towards, they're the ones that are engineered to make me want to eat them endlessly. And you know what? That's what happens. I get in the mindset of like, let's just polish them off. Let's just finish them. So that's my ditch. My ditch is also running to the pantry anytime I get bored or I have a break in my day and just need to eat something. Sometimes just snacking throughout the whole day instead of actually having proper meals or planning things out. In my ditch, I'm not focused on nourishing my body. I'm focusing on just kind of getting by in the moment and satisfying what I feel like is kind of sometimes it's not even a craving. Sometimes it's just what's easy. So I'll be unpacking this, but I want this, like I said, to just glorify the Lord. The passage that I'm anchoring to right now is Psalm 19:14, which is, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. He is my rock. He is my redeemer. And I want to point everyone towards him in this journey. Whether you struggle with food, addictive tendencies towards food or other substances or other activities, or perhaps you are on a path right now where you're strong. Maybe you have been in the ditch. Maybe you are in the ditch. Whatever your scenario, I just want this to be encouraging and uplifting to you and honoring to the Lord, and that he gets all the credit with this. None of it is me. It is all the Lord. And this is where my self-sufficiency has gotten me into this ditch. But this is going to end. So thank you so much for joining. I look forward to next time. Bye.